Good morning, YouTube. It is a beautiful cloudy day up here. I never used to say cloudy days were so beautiful, but when you don't get them that often, they become something else. So wanted to show you a quick update from last video. I showed you my house build site. We have gotten the gravel in to all of the areas here. So this is the lower level of my house build, the foundation level sort of. And so two things we have to do before we start the actual like wall bags. All these little places between the bag and the ditch wall, we're gonna fill with the same gravel that's in the bags and pack it down. I have some of that left. We're gonna put it in there. And then we're also gonna put in AB mix where needed, just to firm it up. My main goal with this, this gravel is to give a rock kind of gravel dry foundation. And where we live, the frost line is 12 to 18 inches. These ditches were 2 feet deep. And I don't know if you can see here, they're in decomposing granite. So there's a lot of rock in these ditches anyway. My foundation's on the highest part of my land. The only part that's higher is this, and that is about 3-4 feet high. So when it rains, you can see that it has sloughed off. When it rains up here, it drains very quickly, and having the gravel in the bags has made it to where if when a water comes in here, there's nothing pooling in here. I checked it for this season just to make sure, because I'm crazy like that. So nothing was pooling in here. It drains very quickly, and there's no sheet flow up here. Sheet flow meaning water running across the surface in a general direction, because we're on a ridge line. It goes off that way and then quickly off that way. So it's a good spot to be, but I am kind of going overboard with the gravel because I want for it to have a firm packed gravel underneath our AB mix, which is this coming next. Whenever we put the gravel in, it'll kind of go all around. You can see where we've started putting it here. It'll go all the way around and up to the bag level right there. So it'll be fully in there. And my hope is with the bags that it would just keep it from fully just sinking down in while we're building, so that until it settles, it'll be still formed up in some way. It'll be settled as we go. You'll see the process as we go. It'll really pack in as we go up the wall. But that's the progress we're on. We have gotten the bags laid in there, and they are looking great and solid and ready for the next layer. Today's progress will be on the chicken coop. Of course, we have a little bit more to do over there on the south wall of the chicken coop. And we're going to be doing some practice walls, practice bags, like for this, but out of the house. So we're going to be using our mix, our AB road-based mix, which is clay, sand, and gravel and other stuff. And then our lime, which is in that bucket right there. And we're going to be mixing it to make bags that won't be in the house, so we can test them and make sure we get our mix right and we can practice. So two places we're going to do these bags. One of them is going to be along this wall. We're going to make this a retaining wall, and these bags are actually designed for erosion control for this purpose, sort of. So we're going to be preparing this area to lay bags along and practice that mix, make sure it hardens the way we want it to. Once I put a wall up in this area, once the whole thing's finished, we'll be cladding it with stone, so that it'll be a little stone wall when it's all said and done, that will surround the house in a patio. But essentially this will be a practice spot so that we can make sure we get the mix really right before we start doing it in the walls of the house. I'll show you the other area we're going to be working on. In today's video, we're going to be actually preparing this other area for our practice. I've been waiting for this. There is a patio on the south side of my quonset hut. You may remember seeing it from another video. That patio is made of dirt right now, but we built a pergola on it. The pergola has two purposes. Number one, to be a pergola to sit under in the summer, or in the winter in the sun, in the summer in the shade, but also to hold the solar panels, which provide power to my quonset hut, which will be my little workshop in the future. Currently, it is a hoarder's paradise, and it stores all of my earthly belongings while I build the house. So I've gathered over here, this is the pergola area, you can see, and I've gathered some AB mix and some native stone. This is stone from up on my little hill here that I've piled up. And I'll be coming in here with the tractor in this area. And then my hope is I have my little bird feeder tree over there with my bird bath and my hummingbirds and my so I can watch the critters. But my hope is now you can see the grade from the patio level down. My plan with this has always been that this would be a stone patio, and the stone patio would be at slab level when it was all said and done. So I've got, you can see the level of the little pylons that I made, the cement pylons. So my hope or my job today is to take my tractor and expose a flat area in front of these pylons so that I can lay earth bags in there, those red bags that I'm doing for the house, and get it ready to receive those bags. And then we're going to use AB mix, lime, and dirt to make the bags, and then we're going to test it. This will be kind of a test area, because if something happens, then of course this is not structural. So we can make sure we get our mix right. We can practice it, make sure the mix is right for our native soil. It's different in different areas, so you kind of have to play with it a little. So this will be our tester spot. We'll be cleaning up this area, digging a kind of a foundation area with the tractor for the first earth bags to be laid, and we'll be laying those bags down so that we can make a small little retaining wall up to the level of these piers, so that then we can come in later and put flat stone all the way across, like flagstone, all the way across, and make the patio. So the patio will essentially extend beyond these pillars the width of some red Hyperadobe earth bags, as well as stone cladding them. So we'll be doing that today. This is going to be a little bit of a process, probably take us a few days to get this worked in. But today's video, you will at least see us starting this process and doing a little bit of cob work on that chicken coop, because we are chipping away at that little by little, and that is the goal. So we'll be working on that. I got to put some more water in the bird bath. Somebody was out here drinking last night. Get those birdies fed, and then we'll check back with you in a few more minutes of this video, and then see what we can get started with. All right, I am back. I have packed up my packages for the day for eBay. I have, I think, 8 going out this morning, books and 1 record, which is cool. We have finished up most of our chores for the day, and we're getting ready to do our little walk and go to the mailbox. And when you see me next, I will be over here behind, I guess, on the south side of the quonset hut digging. Maybe you can see it from this side. I didn't do this the last time. I'll be digging out a straight path along these 3 pillars for us to start our practice bags so that we can be ready with our proper mix and start building up the walls of the house. I'm very excited. I do think I have to take out a couple of little cat claws over there in order to get the tractor back here cleanly. So I'll do that, and then you'll be on a time lapse next time we see each other. All right, post time lapse. Hopefully you could see what I was doing. I'll show you a close-up of that. I kind of loosened the soil. These are my little pillars that I made with concrete a long time ago. And I had kind of backfilled around them to protect them. So I've kind of loosened. I think you can see that we're kind of dealing with, the grade goes, of course, downhill this way, but it also goes downhill that way. So it's like a double off into that direction. So I excavated a little deeper because that pylon or pillar over there is actually the largest one I've made. So you can kind of see it now here, how the slope goes. So I'm gonna go get shovels in a minute and a landscape rake and kind of clean up the base here where I've dug it out, so that when we start to lay bags, I can lay in a bag from like here to here. And then the next bag that I'll do once we do all the interlocking stuff will go from here a little further and then a little further. So it's kind of like a reverse stair step down to account for the slope in two directions. So that's what I was getting at. I'm gonna go get the shovel so I can do some precision work. I got fairly close to my little pillar with the tractor, but it gets a little scary. That tractor can be a little jerky aroundy. It's kind of hard to deal with. I don't want to get too close and, you know, knock the whole thing down. I can also dug in this way because the bags are actually going to go around the corner on both sides, and there will be steps onto this future patio from like right here. And then, but I wanted to excavate in a little bit for the bags to lay, and you can see the soil. I think you can see the soil changes. This is actually some of the AB mix, and it was put there by the people who made the slab. So I just barely got into the beginning of that and then stopped. This is of course native or soil that I backfilled here to make a temporary sort of patio area for us to sit out here in the mornings and evenings and whenever. So I got into a little bit of the AB and stopped because I don't want to disturb that. It's actually, you know, part of it, this type of material. When they do this, it sort of becomes part of the foundation. It packs in really well. It actually, if I wanted to, it would be very difficult to dig into there. So I got in as far as I could go. I'm going to level this off now. And I don't know if you noticed John flying through over here in the time lapse. He started coming up here because he was working on a different project today. We are going to be trying out a Wee Boost. And so he's working on assembling all of that. It's a whole book. He pointed out to me today, I put together a printer and it was one little page. So I felt like I had really done something. He's got like a 150,000 page book. So don't envy John. Really glad.
That's what it'll look like.
And that's what it's going to look like. Except
not on the RV.
Not on the RV. We wanted the RV one so that we could get the big giant pole. And reading the reviews, we decided that would be the best for us. So anyway, that's what he's working on. I don't envy you. I'm going to keep digging holes because that's super easy. And I'll put you guys on a time lapse. And we'll see what we get into for the next part of the dig. Okay, John is still working very diligently on this Wee Boost. It's more difficult than expected. I'm really glad it's not me. Sorry, John. I finished digging my little trench area. It's a little uneven in places where the natural land drops. I tried to just get down to the like native soil from originally. You can see I unearthed my pillars up against so I can put the bags in. Before we lay bags over here, I have to do two things. Number one, I have to bring the cement mixer and all the stuff over here to use this material for bags. I also need to go over to the chicken coop because I still have some cob to do, lots of cob in there. And as we know, cob needs time to set up between sessions. So I'm gonna go do some cob on the south wall of the chicken coop and allow for that to set up. And while that's setting up and I can't work on it anymore, I'm gonna come back and do the bags for this other section. So we're flip-flopping, but what it allows for me to do is it allows for me to allow time for the cob to set up while I'm busy doing something else. So I've essentially got myself set up for the next section of work. I'm gonna go over here, start on some cob, and then I'll be back over there on the bags once that's ready to set up. All right, here's the chickens. Hey ladies. All but one. Our chicken on sick leave, she's been in there about 3 days now. She's doing well. She's still sequestered. Hi, Boomer. Oh, what a belly. What a belly. You need belly rubs? You need them? Oh, your belly rubs. Boomer's belly. Oh, hey, Jack. Oh, no, this is Clementine. Can't be outdone on Miss Clementine, right? So this is our molting chicken. She's doing great. She does not like being separated. Chickens are very social. We have some vegetable scraps in here for them, which they've been loving. I was going to show you what we're doing, or what I'm going to be doing in here while John's so nicely making that wee boost. In a previous video, I think last week's video, there's my shadow, I worked on filling this ditch. These girls desperately want over here, real bad. I worked on filling this ditch, and I got to there. The other day I came back in and I did this section. Today, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can see this cob is still very wet. We're in a cooler season, so we made a wet mix. It's very straw heavy, and it is still setting up. So while that's still curing before I add rocks, you can see I started to add the lower rock level there. Before I do that across the whole thing, today, I'm going to be working on trying to go as far up the wall as I can. While these chickens are blocked out and I only have one girl in here, I'm going to take advantage of the time and try to do most of the south wall. I only have to make it up to there. And this is our most complete wall inside anyway. So all I need to do is put another finished coat, or more finished coat on the outside. So anywhere you see chicken wire, it's actually stucco mesh, a little stronger than chicken wire. Anywhere you see chicken wire or hardware mesh, there's a chicken coming to get me. So I got distracted. Don't do it, Agatha. Don't do it. She's gonna jump on me. Anyway, I'm gonna just walk over here just a little bit. Anywhere you see the mesh, I want to try to cover that today. So I'm going to be wetting this down and throwing cob up there, trying to make it stick, and then all I'll have is a finished layer after that, and then to finish this ditch area down here. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put you on time lapse so you can see that happening and hope some progress happens there, and then we will regroup and go back while this is setting up over to the bag area and try to lay our first bag for you guys to see on this video. Hey girls, what are you doing in there? Are you getting in a box of cucumbers? So we got a box of cucumbers, and she's gonna get on my head. This is Agatha. She's a head jumper. Don't do it, Agatha. I gotta back up, guys. I'll catch you. I'm getting discombobulated. I'll catch you on time lapse. Stay there, Agatha. Stay there. Alrighty, so this is post time lapse. We got almost done. We kind of ran out of clay. I got to go get some more clay down at my little clay deposit down the driveway, so we can do the upper part. But you can see it's starting to look like something over here. I'm almost getting the shape around. I got to bring it out just a little bit down here. You can see the shape, and hopefully that bulge will be at the bottom. As we talked about before. So this is what it looks like. You can see on the time lapse sort of what I was doing for the sections that had the wood in there. I put that wood in not knowing if I would need it or not, and honestly I won't do it for our next cob building because it's kind of hard to get the cob to stick in those sections. It wants to peel away even with the hardware or the stucco mesh. So one thing that what I was doing was making it a little bit wetter mixture, kind of like a clay slip, and just throwing it at the wall, kind of like a splatter, and then going in later with a thicker cob mixture that it would stick to that as it started to set up. So that's the technique I was using there. You can see where I've got the bottom section. The rocks are just laying there. This is that new section I just did. This is the older stuff, and you can see the older stuff to the new wetter clay mix there. So it's getting there. This will be the south wall. Will be the first one to be finished when this is done. There is another culprit. Betty, what are you doing? You got to stay over there. Very curious chickens, these two. She's back. Anyway, we are going to jump back over to making some bags at the Quonset hut now. So the next time you see us, I'm going to stick you on another time lapse so you can see us doing that bag process again, and then I'll explain what we did afterwards. I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and we'll check back in a few minutes. All right, so we're back post time lapse, and this is what we did on the time lapse. You can see it. This is the earth bag filled with AB and lime. You can see on the video we were fiddling with the mix. This is the first time we've used the AB in the bags, and it's the first time we've used lime as well. And we haven't done the wet bags in quite a while. We did a mixture in another area for practice on the technique. We got too wet at the beginning. You can see it's just a little too wet, a little too much water. So that'll just dry. It'll dry slower. But the cool thing is I was trying to mold this bag into my graded out area, and I did that, and it squishes in. I was tamping it along. My other goal with this is to level this off. So you know my grade slants two ways here. So this end of the bag is thicker than that end. I was going less and less material in order to keep it level and loosen it up at the top, or at that end. And now I've stopped this bag here. It's very much thinner there. I'm going to take a little bit of loose AB mix and put just there to make like a little ramp. And then the next bag we're going to do, we won't do it on this video because this one's long enough. The next bag we do will be from here back to there. We'll start tapering bags into that area, and then we'll do another bag over top of that, and it will overlap onto the end of this bag. And then the next bag here for today's bags will go from the end of this one that overlaps back out over, and it'll go all the way down to the other end, so that we'll have at least one continuous bag done for this session. And then we're going to let this sit for a couple days and harden and firm up and check on it and make sure we like the mix and everything. And this will just help to put material in to hold in these pillars that we've exposed and to make sure it's all locked in while it sets up. So I like it so far. It's very dense. I can actually walk on it. I don't know if you've seen this type of thing before, but this is Hyperadobe. You can walk on it. It's very stiff once you've tamped it in and shaped it. And I was able, I don't know if you noticed earlier in the video, this is not a perfect little trench. It does still slope a little. I hit native ground in AB, but I'm able to mold this like Play-Doh kind of into the earth, the shape of where it needs to go. So it's kind of nice. You can mold it in, and then when this whole thing is stacked up high enough to cover the pillars, that'll also be faced with rock. So any unevenness along the front of here that I'm doing in order to squish it into the natural wall, the earthen area behind it, it will basically be hidden by a rock face in the end. So this is the process. This is what we're doing. Oh, I didn't show this over here. I don't think you could see it. This is our cement mixer. We're putting 10 scoops of AB mix plus some water and then some hydrated lime in the mix. So 1 scoop of that for 10. And then it comes out like this. It's very damp and packable. it's like a nice packable material. So that's what's happening, and then it hardens essentially like a foundation piece, like this is. So that's what we're practicing. That will eventually, I think, be what's in our base of our walls, and we're going to keep on keeping on. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and share with all your friends, and we will see you back here for more of this kind of thing next Sunday.